Alright, y'all, I just watched the 2 latest episodes of Jay and Pamela, and I need them to be effing for real, like BFFR with this whole baby situation. So the 2 or 3 previous episodes, when Jay first brought it up, Pamela was like, oh no, we can't have no baby. And then next thing you know, these 2 new episodes, she's on board for the baby, and they're gonna go see the surrogate person to see if they can have a baby, which... Okay, let me preface this. This video is not a debate on whether or not people with disabilities should have kids. That's besides the point. It's just them. They don't seem to be aware of the fact that if you have a baby, you need a full-time caregiver for that baby. Even when they first told Jay's parents about it, the dad started choking on the popcorn because he was like, what are y'all talking about having a baby? So they just don't seem to be aware of their limitations when it comes to caring for an actual child. And then they went to go visit their friend. What were their names? They were so cute. I think it was Winston and Michaela, which are an inter-abled couple. So the wife is fully body abled. So it really don't equal out. Like, it's not the same. Who they need to go see is that one TikTok couple, Antoine and Deja. They are 2 little people who both have OI, and they had a baby naturally. Now, she carried her baby, Deja, but it's dangerous because Jay is a trans man. Y'all can't even get pregnant the old-fashioned way. So with the choice of how you get pregnant, it's going to have to be a surrogate. But at the same time, I understand her, because like, if you're a woman, I get it, you want to carry your own baby, but they're not being serious. And then Jay keeps bringing up his autism and ADHD as those are higher factors in being nervous about being a parent. Like, that's the lowest on the totem pole of having a baby with your condition, condition that they have. And then it's like, if they have a baby, like I said, Jay is trans, so it won't be his and Pamela's DNA. So if they have a donor that's an average sized person, it's a 50-50 chance. If the baby is average sized, that baby gonna outgrow them very, very quickly. Like, when they had the little Rena baby, they could barely hold the baby, like trying to take it out the basket. Every video we see of Jay and this baby, he not holding the neck, he not doing none of this stuff. But I get it's a baby doll, so maybe he's not as locked in as he would be with a real child. But still. And then he gonna tell Pamela, like, oh, the way you talk to me is belittling me and this, all this stuff. And he got an attitude with her because she told him how to change a baby. And I get it if he would have told her, like, oh, I don't like the way you chimed in front of my parents and made me feel a certain way, yada, yada. He didn't say that, though. And then he just wanted Pamela to apologize and then go, no, why would she just automatically apologize, say, like, yes, I'm sorry you felt like I was doing that, but his whole attitude around that, like, no, you weren't changing that baby right. She told you right. And when you have a child with someone, that baby's health and needs is always going to supersede your personal feelings. Now, you could tell her, you know, don't be checking me in front of my parents, or don't chime in and make me feel like I'm being laughed at. That's fine. But at the end of the day, if they have a baby, that baby needs a full-time caregiver. Just because, like I said, if it's average size, the baby's gonna outgrow them. If something happens, they've all acknowledged this. The parents have acknowledged it, Jay's parents. She has acknowledged it. He has acknowledged the fact that they need a community, they need help. So that baby needs a full-time caregiver. And then if the baby does have OI, their condition, then they need to be very gentle with the baby, like changing the baby, all that different stuff. Jay even said himself, if the baby had OI, we didn't broke all his bones when he was trying to change the little baby. So Pamela and Jay, I'm hoping this is just for a storyline, because you can't seriously be trying to have a baby naturally. But they so sweet. I really do like them. They're very educational. Just because when you have people with different conditions and stuff, there has to be certain people, not has to be, you can't look for people to, like, oh, educate me on this different stuff. So when there are people who choose to do that and share, I really enjoy it. But yeah, Jay, Pamela, be for real. You're not having no baby the regular way.